Hello, designers. This is Marcos with your week 5 recap for our core 3 topics branding class as we move into getting closer to complete our project rebrand and complete also a few more of our core 3 cross-topic video lecture series and exercises. So as we go from week 5 to week 6, I wanted to give you this workflow breakdown so that you understand what to do and what's going on. We are going to complete lecture series 5, editorial design systems, and then next week we're going to start 6, which is digital design systems. And then for our main rebrand project, we're going to be working on our finalization of our logo options. Everyone's been working hard in creating some great design options that are connected to your concepts, and some are more connected than others. So I want to make sure that as you guys are working towards that, that you're looking back at your research, making sure you're making connections with your concepts. And if needed, you should change your concepts or adjust your concepts, adjust your mood boards and your inspiration in order for you to tell a cohesive story, from a written concept to visuals that connect to that concept, to inspiration that inform how your logo is designed, and then to that design. So I want to make sure that for the final, those stories are told in the right way. So you may need to go back and revise things and make it so that the conclusion you're making with your logos match that. And then as you finalize each of your logo options, this week, the main focus is going to be on creating touch point pages for each option, creating 3 to 4 or so touch points, which are applying your logo onto different kinds of visual assets, depending on what your brand is. It could be anything from signage to digital applications on a phone to packaging to uniforms to vehicles. Like, kind of find the kind of optimal perfect set of touch points that you can put your logo on to see and how the new brand is reflected, and also gives you a chance to go further into your rebrand beyond the logo design in order to give you more depth into your rebranding, so that your logo isn't the only thing you're working on, but also you're creating a design language with color, with type, with form, in other sort of graphic treatments or systems that you need. And then if you're a little bit ahead and want to continue to further develop your touch points and maybe even focus on one logo that you find to be the winner or the best one, or if you want to equally develop your 2 or 3 options into further touch points for the final. So at the final stage, you'll be presenting your full process. You'll be presenting your logo, your research, your concepts, your inspiration, and your mood boards, and then your various 2 to 3 options. And then from there, you can choose a winner and develop that even further, or you can choose to be democratic and just develop all of them further and not make a conclusion to which one's best. All right, so as we're completing week 5, we're entering week 6, which is about finalizing the logo, developing the touch points. And then week 7 will be creating further touch points and finalizing your presentation, so that on 2 Thursdays from now, we'll have our final presentation in class with everyone presenting. All right, so editorial design systems is the next lecture series and exercise. And I kind of botched things up a little bit. I was confused between digital design systems and digital product UX. So those two are kind of a little bit overlapping. And for this week's videos, I think you're going to find that the third video is the one you already watched on week 4. I mixed those two up, so my apologies for that. But if you haven't watched it, please do watch it. And then we set up a new editorial design, or there's an editorial design systems mood board set up that you need to finish, and we're going to be setting up a new one for digital design systems next week. So keep going on those and make sure you get those completed. And then to clarify what we're doing here, I want to remind you about this process that we're building from creating these three concepts. Each concept is supported by a explanation in words about what your concept is, the story of it, the idea behind it, the aspiration for the brand and how it connects to it. Please avoid making it like a technical design thing, talking about this tactics you're going to do, but instead talking about the vision, the feeling of it, and then support that vision and feeling with this design concept mood board, and then begin to talk tactics and your inspiration and showcasing visual ideas that will inform the way your design ends up being. And so here on the fourth column, we have the three design options. And then for this next step, once you refine and decide on your design options, to then create a set of kind of sample touch points, like a page that shows your logo applied to relevant and kind of top line items, whether it's a storefront or a product or a digital system, a phone. Just it could be a simple phone splash page. It doesn't, you don't have to get into designing a lot. It could be a bag, it could be a button, it could be, you know, a uniform, a vehicle, depending on your brand. Think of the best way to show that. And then also, and here's a close-up of it. Also, you can utilize both these kind of mock-up sites that show plain items, but be careful with that it doesn't look so generic. And you might want to find the actual products or spaces of your design of your brand on just by searching it on Google and selecting like good pictures that you can then retouch and replace the old brand with the new brand. And it's really, this is part of your design skills and presentation skills. Like I want you to pick and find and take the time. It only takes a few extra minutes to like look for that optimal picture where it's well shot, where it's high res enough, it's not too tiny, where the people look good, where you're thinking about your demographics, where it just happens to be that the item that your logo is being placed on is nice and prominent and not far off in the distance. So it just takes a little bit of research and like strategically finding the right pictures that will make a mix of images on a page. And what I'm showing you here is not that, it's more of a kind of product oriented page. All right, but the next step from there in terms of your final will be for next week will be, or week after next will be to go beyond this one touch point page and then to begin to really develop it further across more platforms and be able to express what your brand's going to look like within several different touch points and really show the breadth of how strong your new rebrand will look and show the vision of the new look and feel of your company. Okay. So I just want to take you through another example of what this assignment is from a past student's work. And this is a rebrand of TikTok. And again, I want you to continue to keep the strategy that you've written out and your concept, each of your concepts. You know, if you need to, like, again, maybe rethink the name if it's different now that you've worked on it. If things are mixing up or like here you have the ability to change it, make sure you clearly write out what your concept is, and then have this sort of mood inspiration and also design and inspiration as well to be able to provide the kind of sort of platform or the direction you need in order to be able to show how your logo is going to be informed. So here we see their first concept, progressive. And again, I've been pushing this idea of like not straying too far for your first concept in order to stay within the strong equities that your brand has and the recognizability. So this shape is the same, the silhouette's the same, but based on the inspiration, as we can see in the past, utilizing the kind of colors and this more whimsical feeling towards what TikTok can look like, reflecting the personality of the followers and the users, but having also this techie kind of futuristic, optimistic feeling to it with the colors and the textures. And then here's an example of creating that sort of mood board page that showcases it on a screen and also kind of begins to show it in terms of how illustration will become part of the brand in these little module ads. So these are the mock-ups, and then we'll repeat whether we have 2 or 3. This is 2 concepts. So the second concept is energetic, express it in words and in inspirational visuals for the vibe, and then put together what you've already done, these kind of like influences towards your design direction, and then create your the best version of your second design. And here you can see this person decided to, and they may have been separate ideas and as we worked on this, but to combine the 2 ideas into the idea of like showcasing the logo in a more formal way with the full name here on the left, and also having a more mobile, smaller, compact, more abstract version of the logo that can be used when necessary, and then to showcase how that could work in these mood board pieces or in these touch point pieces. Okay, so that's the example for this week. And I think from here, we should be able to have ourselves ready for one more week of working on this. So again, we have this full week to work on it. And then Tuesday, we're going to repeat the same thing. It's been working pretty well. We're going to have individual meetings on Tuesday, and then group meetings on Thursday. We're going to keep the same schedule. I'll send that out. But on Tuesday, the goal is for you to for sure have as close as you can to having your logos completed, and so that on Thursday your touch points can be applied to your logos. So do what you need to do if you're behind or if you're needing more time. I want you to reach out to me before Tuesday. I want you to send me emails, ask for direction, insist on setting up a time to meet with me on Zoom, and let's find the time to do that. But I want to make sure that you're getting to the point where you have good, solid logos that we can decide on Tuesday, so that on Thursday you can have those initial touch points. All right, thanks everyone. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you on Tuesday.